In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on December 21st, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. San Antonio Spurs versus Washington Wizards. The San Antonio Spurs head to Capital One Arena on Sunday to face the Washington Wizards, and this one has a sneaky bit of chaos baked into it already. The Spurs are coming in with a full squad, which is a luxury in this league. The Wizards, on the other hand, are still without Cam Whitmore, Bilal Coulibaly, Corey Kispert, and Jameer Watkins, so they are again patching things together on the fly. That has sort of been their theme, a lot of scrambling and not a lot of structure. San Antonio has quietly turned into one of the hotter teams recently, and that blowout win over the Hawks in their last outing felt like a statement that they are not just rolling over anymore. When their confidence picks up, you can really see it in the way they move the ball and push the pace. The funny part is that in a spot like this, where they absolutely have the tools to run Washington off the floor, you still have to ask how badly they want to go for the throat. They have had an emotional week, and they have a pair of games against the Thunder looming, which makes this matchup an easy mental trap. It is very human to glance ahead a little, especially for a young team. Meanwhile, the Wizards, for all their flaws, just pulled off a wild comeback win over the Grizzlies as big underdogs, which at least gives them a bit of swagger walking into their own building. Yes, they are on the second night of a back-to-back, and that usually scares people off, but this team has already shown it can be profitable in ugly spots. Since November 25th, Washington has 4 outright wins as double-digit underdogs, which sounds ridiculous at first, but it tells you they do not always follow the script. You can actually make money backing them when the number is big enough. On the flip side, the Spurs have not exactly been a machine in this role. They are 5 wins to 12 losses against the spread in their last 17 games as a double-digit favorite. That is a serious red flag when you are being asked to trust them to win big, not just win. So while San Antonio has the higher ceiling and the cleaner form, the combination of possible letdown, look ahead, and Washington's weird habit of hanging around in big dog roles tilts things toward the underdog, keeping this closer than expected. By the time you factor all of that in, grabbing the points with the Wizards feels like the better side. As our first pick for this matchup, the Washington Wizards to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The San Antonio Spurs are averaging 120 points on 48.6% shooting and allowing 113.7 points on 46.5% shooting. That is the profile of a team that is perfectly comfortable in high-scoring games. They are hitting 36.6% from 3 and 79.2% at the free throw line, while pulling down 45.8 rebounds per game. When you shoot that well and rebound like that, you naturally create extra possessions and extra scoring chances, even without trying to play wild run and gun basketball. Defensively, they are allowing 36.6% shooting from deep, which is not exactly smothering. That leaves the door open for opponents to get hot from outside, and once that happens, totals can move in a hurry. The Washington Wizards, for their part, are averaging 112.7 points on 46.1% shooting and giving up 126.2 points on 48% shooting. That defensive number is loud. They are allowing 37.1% shooting from 3 and grabbing 43.8 rebounds per game. Offensively, they are connecting on 36.5% from beyond the arc and 74.5% from the free throw line, which is respectable enough to keep them dangerous, especially when they get into rhythm for a quarter or two. Put all that together and you have one team that wants to play fast and can score efficiently, and another that struggles badly to get stops while still being capable of putting points on the board. The Wizards' back-to-back spot can actually hurt their defense more than their offense. Tired legs usually show up in late closeouts and slow rotations long before they show up in open jumpers. With both sides rebounding well, you also get fewer one-and-done empty trips and more extended possessions that stretch out the scoring. There is always a small risk that a game like this turns into a blowout that kills the pace, but with the way the numbers line up, it is at least as likely that even if it tilts one way, bench units keep pushing and scoring against soft defense for long stretches. The overall offensive efficiency and the very shaky Washington defense point toward a matchup that is more likely to sail toward a higher scoring outcome than grind into a low total slog. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Milwaukee Bucks versus Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves welcome the Milwaukee Bucks to Target Center on Sunday night, and this one has a pretty clear storyline before the ball even goes up. Milwaukee is still without Giannis Antetokounmpo, which leaves a huge hole in their offense and, honestly, in their identity too. Minnesota, meanwhile, is monitoring Mike Conley as questionable, but even with that bit of uncertainty, they have been playing sharp, confident basketball. They are coming off a big win over the league-leading Thunder, and a result like that tends to stick in a team's mind in a good way. The Bucks, on the other hand, are stuck in their worst skid of the season. Without Giannis to constantly bend the defense, they look much easier to guard, and it shows in how often their offense stalls for stretches. The line on this game is on the heavy side, which might make you hesitate at first glance, especially if you are used to seeing Milwaukee as a reliable contender. But right now, the Bucks are just not in rhythm, and if they get off to another slow start, it is hard to see them trading punches all night with a Timberwolves team that is playing freely and with real belief. Minnesota has the momentum, the more stable rotation, and the recent signature win that reinforces everything they are trying to do. Even if Conley ends up limited or out, the overall structure and confidence lean strongly in their favor. So in terms of the spread, it makes sense to back the Timberwolves at home and trust that their current form carries them to a win that clears the number, even if it is a little larger than usual. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Milwaukee Bucks are averaging 113.6 points on 48.9% shooting and giving up 117.5 points on 47.3% shooting. From deep, they are hitting 40.4% of their three-point attempts, which is an excellent clip, and they are shooting 72.1% from the free throw line. They are also pulling down 39.3 rebounds per game. That kind of offensive efficiency, especially from beyond the arc, usually keeps them in range of solid scoring nights even without their main star, because role players get clean looks and do not have to be perfect to get the team into the 100 teens. Minnesota comes in with strong offensive numbers of their own. The Timberwolves are averaging 119.2 points per game on 47.9% shooting and allowing 114.3 points on 45.9% shooting. They are knocking down 37.5% of their threes and 76.4% from the free throw line, while grabbing 44.3 rebounds per contest. That mix of efficient scoring and control on the glass is exactly what you want if you are looking for a game to lean toward a higher total. They can extend possessions, finish inside, and stretch the floor. When you put these profiles together, you get one team that can still shoot the ball very well even when short-handed, and another that has been consistently putting up strong scores while defending just well enough, but not so well that they choke games into rock fights. Milwaukee's defense allowing 117.5 points per night, along with opponents hitting over 36% from three, gives Minnesota a clear path to a big number if their offense looks anything like it did against the Thunder. At the same time, the Bucks' shooting percentages suggest they can do their part on the scoreboard, even if they fall behind and end up chasing the game. Games like that often turn into extended stretches of trading buckets, with quick possessions and plenty of perimeter shots. That is usually friendly for anyone holding an over ticket. So, looking at the way both offenses are producing and how both defenses are allowing efficient shooting, this matchup leans toward a total that trends higher rather than lower. It sets up as the kind of night where both teams have enough firepower and enough defensive leaks to push the combined score past the projected number. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Rockets versus Sacramento Kings. The Houston Rockets head into Golden One Center on Sunday night to face the Sacramento Kings, and both teams are dragging some baggage with them. Houston is still short-handed, with Fred VanVleet, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Tari Eason all out. Sacramento is in the same boat on their side, with Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, and Drew Eubanks ruled out. The Rockets have not exactly been firing on all cylinders lately, but that statement win at Denver on Saturday had to give them a real shot of confidence. On the flip side, the Kings just keep sliding, picking up their 9th loss in 10 games, and now they have to turn right around and host a physical Rockets group with no rest at all. On paper, the Rockets have the kind of profile that can really punish a struggling team. They absolutely have the pieces to take the Kings behind the woodshed if things snowball. The problem is the spot. Both teams are on the second night of a back-to-back, and only the Rockets had to travel. That alone tilts the fatigue edge to Sacramento. Add in that Houston is coming off an emotional road win at Denver, and you get a classic letdown setup. The Kings have at least shown a little life against the number, covering their last 2 games, even while the losses keep piling up. Nobody is racing to back this team, and honestly, that hesitation is completely understandable. Still, this is a big number to lay with a Rockets team playing its 4th straight road game, with a thin rotation and a possible emotional hangover from Saturday. Sometimes the right play is the uncomfortable one, and here that means trusting a flawed King side to do just enough to stay inside the spread. As our first pick for this matchup, the Sacramento Kings to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Kevin Durant shined with 31 points last night as the Rockets picked up their 17th win in 25 games, and they are sitting firmly in the 5th spot in the West at the moment. On paper, this matchup with a reeling Kings team looks like it should be comfortable, but Houston has already burned people a couple of times this season in similar spots. These teams met in early December, and the Rockets rolled 121-95, with the trio of Durant, Alperen Sengun, and Thompson all putting up at least 20 points. That first meeting still matters when you are thinking about pace and scoring ceiling. On the Sacramento side, there has not been much to smile about all year. They are just 6 wins to 22 losses straight up and riding a 5-game losing streak. They are also on the second night of a back-to-back after another defeat, this time to the Portland Trail Blazers. Scoring only 93 points in that one is a rough look for a team that is supposed to play among the fastest paces in the league. In their last 5 games, they have topped 105 points just once, which is not exactly what you expect from a so-called up-tempo offense. With trade season open, you can feel that cloud hanging over them, the sense that this version of the roster might be nearing the end of the road. That kind of uncertainty often shows up in the offense first, with hesitant decisions and bad spacing. Without Zach LaVine available, it is fair to worry about where the scoring punch comes from. Over the last 10 games, the Kings sit as the lowest scoring team in the league, averaging only 105.3 points per contest. Houston, on the other hand, has quietly built a strong defensive profile. They rank 8th in defensive efficiency, and that first meeting finishing with just 216 total points is a pretty clear hint at how their style can choke off a struggling attack. If the Rockets defend at anything close to that level again and the Kings continue to sputter on offense, you are looking at a matchup where one team has to work very hard just to get near its average. Unless Russell Westbrook has one of those nights where he completely goes off and drags the pace and the scoring with him, everything here points to a game that leans toward a lower total rather than a track meet. The combination of Houston's defense, Sacramento's current scoring problems, and the fatigue factor from the back-to-back sets up an under-friendly environment. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.